Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the little bell to get the most recent video. And also join our community on Facebook at the Acquire English page. And we also have our courses on Udemy and Skillshare. Okay, so today I'm here as always. This is episode 21 of Acquire English Live. My name is Adam. I'm an English teacher from the United States. I'm here with Tuan, English teacher from the UK. And in today's conversation, we are talking about shopping. Tuan, how do you feel about shopping? Do you go quite a bit?
No, not really. I don't really like it, to be honest.
Yeah, me either. Does your wife make you go with her?
No, thank God.
She doesn't want it. Yeah, I can agree with that. I don't mind going shopping if it's by myself, but maybe it's a bit cliche to say you don't want to go shopping with your wife, but it's often true. People say that for a reason. It's like a guaranteed fight with my wife and I if I have to go shopping with her. She takes forever. So if I need something, I can go in and buy it quickly and get out. I know this is maybe an old story. Men have been talking about this forever, but it's so true in my situation. But
yeah, same here.
So how often do you go by yourself?
Not so often. When I need something, really. So yeah. I don't know, a few times a year. So not often at all.
Yeah, now of course we're in another emergency declaration in Japan, so we're encouraged not to go out, and it's a little different here compared to other places in the world. People can go shopping. It's okay to go shopping. There's no, the stores are open, but people are just encouraged to stay home. What's the last thing you went out and bought?
A big coat last month.
Okay. It's getting cold here.
Warm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting pretty cold in Japan right now, especially today.
Yourself?
I think everything I buy these days is probably for my kids. I feel like I don't really buy many clothes for myself. Probably the last thing for myself I bought was a pair of shoes. I'm guessing that's probably the last major thing I bought other than food.
When was that?
Probably a month ago or so.
Okay. Yeah, it's quite recent.
Yeah. It hasn't been that long, but I needed it. My old shoes were getting pretty bad. So I got a fresh pair. But anyway, in today's conversation, we're talking about shopping. Our two characters, Tuan and I, meet up at a shopping mall by chance. We run into each other. So let's have a look at today's conversation. Hey, what are you doing here?
I'm looking for a sweater. It's so cold out. How about you?
A shirt I bought is too big, so I'm returning it.
I see. When you're finished, do you have time for lunch?
Absolutely. I'll give you a call when I'm done.
Sounds good. See you in a bit.
Okay, and let's go ahead and break down that conversation line by line. Okay, so as you saw in the videos, the two characters kind of ran into each other. They came into screen here. So I asked, hey, what are you doing here? So notice I put a little bit of emphasis on you in this situation. Hey, what are you doing here? Because I know why I'm here. What are you doing here? Maybe a little surprised to see Tuan at the shopping mall. Maybe if this were in real life, as we just talked about, it would be very surprising for us to run into each other at a shopping mall. But this just means, why are you at the shopping mall today? Okay. And the next line, Tuan says,
I'm looking for a sweater. It's so cold out. How about you?
Right. So it's cold. I need a sweater. Why are you here? Right. So now when you just read this line, you said sweater, but in the actual conversation, that's not how you said that word. You said that you just said this word like an English teacher would say that word, but naturally, how do you say that word?
I would call it a jumper, to be honest.
Oh, that's true. You'd say jumper, right? But yeah. What did you say? Like British people would say jumper.
I'm looking for a jumper.
Right.
Yeah.
But how did you pronounce this in the conversation? Did you catch that?
No, sweater.
No,
Sweater.
you said
Sweater.
a sweater.
Sweater.
Right.
Okay.
Very British. So often you'll hear that kind of middle T gets left out in not only British English, but often in British English, right? A sweat. What would be another word? I would do it
The word would
with,
be jump, but yeah, it's sweater.
I would do it with little. Like saying little.
Yeah.
Right. Not little or little, but little. You kind of completely leave out that middle T. So it'll happen quite a bit. But yeah, in the conversation, if people go back and listen, Tuan says sweater in that situation. That's a terrible British accent, but yeah, British people would probably usually say jumper in that situation. Anyway, the next line is, so the question was, how about you? Why are you here? And the next one is, a shirt I bought is too big, so I'm returning it. Okay, as you can see in the picture, I made a mistake. It looks like I bought a dress instead of a shirt. So I need to exchange a shirt because it's too big. So as you can see, shirt's too big. I need to take it back to the store. And the next line, Tuan says,
I see. When you're finished, do you have time for lunch?
Right. So I see, I understand. Do you want to have lunch after you finish? So after you return the shirt, do you want to have lunch? Okay. And I answer, absolutely. I'll give you a call when I'm done. So absolutely is just like energetic yes. Oh, yes, for sure. 100%. Let's have lunch. So I'll give you a call when I'm done. After I finish, I will call you. Okay. And the next line, Tuan says,
sounds good. See you in a bit.
Right. Okay. See you soon. So a bit just means a small amount of something. So that just means see you in a bit just means see you soon. Maybe okay. Anything to add there, Tuan?
Yeah, I think that a bit is quite confusing for some people. Yeah, but yeah, it just means, yeah, like you said, see you soon.
Right. So in this case, we're talking about time. So a bit of time, right? You can use a bit of anything to mean a small amount. I wonder if this is this maybe a different bit than Bitcoin, right?
Maybe the same.
Same idea. Small.
Oh no, a bit is maybe a computer term.
Right, computer term. Right. That's what. After it started coming out of my mouth, I realized where that bit comes from. But yeah, this bit. I believe they used to cut coins, and one part of a coin was a bit, I believe.
Okay.
I'm not sure though. Okay, so let's get into today's grammar points. And I'm going to talk a little bit about relative clauses today. So in the conversation, we had a shirt I bought is too big. So when we use a relative clause, what we're basically doing is taking two sentences and making it into one sentence. So the sentence we had is a shirt I bought is too big. This one right here. But this comes from I bought a shirt, it is too big. So to make this into one sentence, what we can do is take the object here, a shirt, and move it to the beginning of a new sentence. And then take the subject and the verb and move it after, right? So changes to a shirt I bought. So an easier way to think about this is we're just making a longer subject for our sentence, right? In the first sentence here, the subject is I, that's it. But if you think about it this way, the subject is kind of like a shirt I bought. This becomes basically the whole subject. And then we just take out the it because that's the same as shirt. Shirt and it are the same thing. And then we just add the rest, is too big. Is that okay? So I bought a shirt, it is too big, changes to a shirt I bought is too big. Anything to add there, Tuan? Did I miss anything?
It sounds, yeah, more natural, the second one. The first one if you say that, you might sound like a robot.
Right. This is maybe 2 beginner sentences right here. And I always think this, generally when I teach this in a class, I feel like this is a big jump up in level. Once you can do this, this is kind of really upper beginner into an intermediate level, right? Once you can do this, you're no longer a beginner. So this is a really good challenge for you to try making these types of sentences. So let's try one more example here. So we have, I saw a man, he was wearing a huge cowboy hat. So how would we change this one, Tuan?
So same as the one above, you start with a man.
Right. So we have a man.
And then you can say a man I saw.
Right?
The he is the same as the man, so we can take that off and leave the rest.
Right. Was wearing a huge cowboy hat. Is that okay? And if you're not sure what a cowboy hat is, it's a hat that cowboys wear. If you can check online, I'm sure you can figure it out. So yeah, I saw a man, he was wearing a huge cowboy hat. We can make that one sentence. A man I saw was wearing a huge cowboy hat. Maybe okay. So let's try some more examples, and we'll give you some time to answer these. So the first one here, we have, I know a guy, he can speak 6 languages. So think about this one. I know a guy, I know a man, he can speak 6 languages. So I'll give you a couple minutes here, a couple seconds here to think about how to change this. What do you think, Tuan?
So we start off with a guy I know. We take off the he because it's the same as the guy. And then we say, yeah, a guy I know can speak 6 languages.
Right. Okay, so a guy I know can speak 6 languages, right? And we should mention that there are different kinds of relative clauses. So we could say, I know a guy who can speak 6 languages, but that's a different lesson. But if you're thinking that at home, yes, that is a possible sentence to make, but that's not today's lesson. That's a different kind of relative clause, okay? So how about this next one? We met some people, they were very friendly. Give you a little bit of time here. What do you think, Tuan?
Some people we met were very friendly.
Some people we met were very friendly. So again, we took the some people here and switched that with we met to make the first part. Some people we met were very friendly. We took out the they because that's the same as some people. Okay. And the next example, a man next to me was eating food. It looked amazing. Give you a little bit of time. This one's a little tricky, so be careful with this one. I'll give you a hint if you're struggling. We're going to start with this here. Okay, Tuan, what do you think? What's the answer here?
We start with that, but it sounds a little strange to start the sentence with food. Mm-hmm. So we would say the food.
Right. The food.
A man next to me was eating, looked amazing.
Right. So the food a man next to me was eating looked amazing, right?
Oh,
that one,
I think you're missing man. Yeah. The food, a
The
man.
food, oh, sorry. The food, I'll get it here. The food a man next to me was eating looked amazing. We got it. Okay, so this is probably the hardest one we'll do, I think. But with the next one here. I went to school with a guy. He is an actor now.
So same as the first one, we can start with a guy. And then, yeah, I went to school with is an actor now.
Right. So this one here, we actually have a preposition, right? I went to school with a guy. So many people make a mistake of leaving this out. They will say, a guy I went to school is an actor now. So we have to be careful. We need to keep that with. Is that okay? And we're going to have it again in this next example. So be careful of that. So we stayed at a hotel. It had a nice pool. So again, we have that preposition. So be careful with that. We need to keep it. So I'll give you a couple minutes or a couple seconds here to figure this one out. And also be careful. We're also going to change this up and we'll explain that. So what do you think, Tuan?
So if it's general, we'll keep the but it's a specific hotel. So we would say the hotel.
Right.
We stayed at. And we keep the at. Same with this last example. And then we can finish off with had a nice pool.
Had a nice pool. Right. So in this situation, most likely, if you go on vacation, you stay at one hotel. So there's only one here. So we would say the hotel we stayed at. And again, this is a kind of a different lesson talking about when to use and when to use the, but it's important when we do these sentences. So generally you're going to stay at one hotel. So the hotel we stayed at had a nice pool. Okay. There's some more examples here. Let's take a look here. Next one. I live in an apartment building. It is near a high school. What do you think, Tuan?
So when we're introducing it for the first time, we use a, but this one, again, yeah, is specific and it's clear to the other speaker that it's my apartment. So the apartment building I live in is near a high school.
Right. The apartment building I live in is near a high school. Okay. And the next one, I went to a university. It is not famous. What do you think?
So this is the same again. So the first sentence you see, I went to a university among many. But this one is, I only went to one university. So the university I went to is not famous.
Right. The university I went to is not famous. This is true for me. Is this true for you, Tuan?
It's a little famous.
Little famous. Okay. Mine is not famous at all. Okay. How about this next one? I work at a restaurant. It serves amazing pie.
So same again with the first one. If you're explaining it to someone for the first time and they don't know you work for a restaurant, it will be a restaurant.
Right.
But with this one, I work at only one restaurant. So it's clear. So the restaurant I work at. serves amazing pie.
The restaurant I work at serves amazing pie. And again, we have that preposition there. I work at a restaurant. And the next one, I work for a company. It manufactures cars. Okay.
Guess you can maybe guess. So yeah, there are many companies, but I work for only one company. So the company I work for manufactures cars.
Right. The company I work for manufactures cars. Okay. And our last example here. I take a train to work. It's always busy.
And this one is the same again. It's a specific train. It's the train I take to work. So it's the train I take to work. It's always busy.
Right. The train I take to work is always busy. Right. So again, this is some difficult grammar, but it's very important. And it's really kind of a way to step up your English. I think a lot of people can use this. And when they start to use it, their language ability kind of goes to the next level. So when you're doing these, I think there's 2 points to really be careful with. As we mentioned, the and the. And the other one is make sure you keep that preposition. I went, the university I went to, the restaurant I work at, the company I work for, or the train I take to work, right? So we have to keep those prepositions with our sentences. Okay, anything to add here, Tuan?
Yeah, maybe that last one is a little confusing as well. Before we were just taking and then putting, but that one, it goes, I take a train to work. But we split the I take to work. Yeah, that one's maybe a little more tricky than the other ones.
Good point. Good point. So the train is taken out there, but the to work stays at the end. The train I take to work. Good point there. And again, if you ever have questions about these or you would like some more examples, you can leave us some comments in the comment section. We'll be happy to correct any sentences or give you any tips on how to improve your English language here. So as I mentioned before, please like and subscribe our YouTube channel. Please join us on our Facebook page, Acquire English, and we've got our Udemy and Skillshare courses available as well. And I know a lot of people got started on those this past weekend. So hope to have some more people go there. Anything else to add today, Tuan?
Yeah, thank you for the people that signed up. Yeah, for those of you other lot. Yeah, have a look.
Yeah, please check out those courses. And again, I think a lot of people, when they're studying a language, get into this sort of feeling of just watching a video and understanding it and then saying, okay, I got it, I'm learning. But the reason we make the videos we make is they're sort of training videos. You follow along with them, you work on your speaking, your listening, your pronunciation. Language learning is not a passive thing. It's not something you can just watch and then suddenly you know how to do it. You need to practice it. You need to train. And that's kind of the reason we make the videos we do. You need to be speaking along. You need to be sort of like muscle training. You can't watch someone lift weights and learn how to lift weights and then expect to have muscles. So you need to be training as well if you want to improve. So hopefully with those training courses that we have, that'll work. And of course, we post some of those videos on our YouTube page or Facebook page. So please check those out. So I think that does it for us today. Again, if you ever have any questions, please let us know. We're happy to help, and we will see you next time. Bye.